Alright guys, so things are getting prepped along here quite nicely. You can see that I've masked off below the molding here for two important reasons. Number one, I didn't want to accidentally sand this paint because we're actually going to be painting from the moldings down. Number two, when we apply the urethane, we don't want it to squeeze up through and then get all over those moldings, because urethane is quite a pain to get off once applied. So you can see here where we've cut that original GT skirt and fender extension along the edge, about a good 1.5 inches here, and that's all sanded down with about a 60 grit sandpaper, super rough. That'll give the urethane something to stick to. Similarly, I've done it on the inside edge of the DECH rear bumper, all along the edge here, and just made sure that everything is nice and smooth and uniform. So you can see here I got my tube of urethane on the floor. So same thing that you would use to install a windshield, and we'll get that pressed on. And what I'm also going to do is I'm actually going to be drilling some holes and putting some set screws in here just to allow the bumper to bond to the DECH skirt, and we'll leave that for about 24 hours. Then we can take the screws out and from there fill the little holes and then get ready for paint. So what that's going to make sure is that the seal between here and this DECH rear skirt is super strong. It's not going to want to come off later on. Just because of the way the side skirts go, you want to make sure that you get some decent sized gobs of urethane here, just because contour kind of goes down, so you just got to build up a bit of material with that urethane just to make sure that you end up getting good adhesion to the parts of the rockers here. We'll do the same on the lower parts of the front fenders. Moment of truth, urethane is dried for 24 hours. Rained a little bit last night, so the car is absolutely filthy. So we're just going to go ahead and pop all these screws out. Everything should stay in place. And after that, we're going to fill these holes with a little bit of short strand fiberglass, and that'll allow us to do all the final bodywork and prep on the kit. I've already gone over all the gel coat with 320 grit sandpaper, so the rest of the kit's pretty much ready for primer. There's just going to be these holes and a few other little spots to clean up. All right, so success. All the screws are out, and skirt's well in place. It's on there, it's not going anywhere. So now we're just going to grind down a little bit around these holes and get them filled up with some short strand fiberglass and finish getting this prepped and ready for primer. All right, so I'm just going to mix up a little bit of short strand fiberglass here, mini fibers. Only a little bit, so I'm just going to actually mix it on this tray that was found in the garbage here. Again, just follow the directions. Got a little spreader here, and then use this just to go along and fill these little holes up. And after this, we'll probably have to put a little bit of glaze on top of them. The idea here is just to use fiberglass because this is fiberglass, and that way, you know, it'll bond better, be a bit stronger, and just avoid any moistures or anything else from getting inside there. So there's a couple little areas here as well. Just sometimes when you're putting the kit on, just sometimes the stretching might do a few little stress cracks here or there. So you want to grind those down, get those filled up as well. So just let this dry, and we'll go ahead and start sanding stuff down. Use this Evercoat lightweight body filler. Just go over a couple of these spots that you filled just to get any last pitting and spots. Sand that down, we'll be ready for primer. So here's the car behind me, pretty much all ready for paint. You can see it's up on jack stands, the wheels and tires are off. That gives easier accessibility to the inner fender wells. Everything has been primed, sanded down with 600 grit sandpaper, and you got the car all covered up and ready to go. So there's a couple little spots. Found a lovely little crack right there. So letting that fiberglass dry up, and we'll get that addressed. I'm just going around the kit one last time with some 600 grit sandpaper, making sure that the surface is all ready to get that paint on there. From there, I'll wipe it all down with some degreaser, make sure that surface is perfect. There we are, folks. I'm excited to see what this car is going to look like back on the ground with the Bourbettes on it, all cleaned up. I think she's going to look great. So here she is, the completed 1988 Mustang GT to DECH conversion. Got it all painted up, en masse, cleaned up, and it is looking pretty damn nice, if I don't say so myself. The customer is just on his way to pick up the car, so I'm hoping that he's going to be just as excited when he sees it. And overall, if you followed the previous video, you'd see that the installation of the DECH body kit is a little involved, but it's not that bad. More so when you have to convert from a GT to DECH kit, just because you need to cut all of those skirts. Now again, I said it in the last video, if you wanted to change your front and rear bumper covers to LX, swap your door moldings and all the other trim over to the LX style moldings, which have the smaller line through them, then that's an option as well, especially if you're going to be repainting the whole car. So that could be more efficient, and then you could technically sell off your GT body kit and probably recoup any of the money that you spent putting all the LX stuff on. Now in this case, the customer just wanted from the moldings down painted, so it didn't make a lot of sense to go ahead and change his bumper covers. He also wanted to keep all of the body components true to the car. So you're also going to notice that there are some amazing looking borebettes on this car, and I know there's going to be some questions about them. So they are a 4-bolt that were drilled out to be a 4-bolt. So they were originally a 5-bolt wheel. They were filled and drilled to be a 4x108 and fit a Fox body. The rears are 17x10s. They're massive. They got this awesome ditch on them, and he is running a 275/40/17. And the fronts are a normal 17x8.5, and these are the ones that are most common, and he's running a 245/45/17. There's no rubs. Another question you guys might have is, you know, are the tires going to rub on the side skirts or the front bumper cover and the wheel wells? There's no rubs in this case. There is one last item that he needs to tick off his list, and that is to get new exhaust tips. So unfortunately it's sitting here with these turn downs. I didn't really bother to mask them off. I just shot them with paint in the clear to blacken them up for now. So the owner of this car has had the car for over 20 years, and it's been sitting in storage for a long, long time. And he recently got it out. He was super motivated, met me at the De Silva Sick Kids car show last year, and he just wanted to get a DECH kit. He got the borebettes, he got some new Corbeau seats, he's got the LMR cup holder inside, which now seems to be everyone's very first mod before anything performance related. So very nice car. You know, he's had it for a super long time, and you know, I hope he really enjoys it, and I enjoyed working on it. So that's all that matters, guys. Keep the Fox bodies alive, keep it going. Until the next video, we'll see you guys soon. Be sure to subscribe, like, do all those normal things, and share with your friends.